What's going on, Guardians? Birdman here with another Titan build, and today I finally put together a pretty solid arc build for you. So far we've pretty much, I think, done a video on everything but arc, so it's nice to finally be able to, actually get something going with this. We're using a fun old exotic, as you can tell by what I'm wearing on my head. But before we get into the video, know you can follow me over on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at Birdman778. Sub to the channel, maybe become a member. It would really help me out, especially with, pretty much only doing YouTube content now. Liking the post, and again, go follow me over on Twitter. I'm trying to get a bunch of Twitter followers again, and so you can see all my terrible takes and bad memes and stuff like that. Anyway, let's get into the video. Now, like what we always start with, always checking out the subclass itself first. For our super, I always like to run Thunder Crash because of some mods we're going to be running in our helmet. We get this back pretty fast, but at the same time, running Fist of Havoc isn't terrible, but you do have a shorter cooldown with Thunder Crash. Yes, it will not be doing as much damage because we're not using Cuirass of the Falling Star, but at the same time, constantly getting this and being able to just like pop it real fast, use it to get out of danger, or just take out a quick, group of mobs is always a great option. For our class ability, a lot of times we only have these two barricades available, but with the arc, since 3.0, we have this thruster as well. I like to run this because it is just a much faster use ability, and also again synergizes with a lot of stuff we are using in our skill tree. For the melee, we're going to be running Thunderclap. Again, this is something introduced in arc 3.0. We are going to hold our fist, gain a bunch of energy, and then let it release. This is really nice because you can just do a quick start and stop with this a lot. You can run Ballistic Slam or Seismic Strike with this, but I just like this because it is much faster melee activation and has a lot of plus upsides. Like you can take out darker yellow bar enemies pretty easily with this, so I really do enjoy it. Pulse Grenade for our grenade. I know a lot of people like to run the Storm Grenade, but unfortunately, just since all the nerfing that's been done to it, I think Pulse Grenade's a little bit better for just boxing out enemies, taking out groups of enemies, stuff like that, just a little bit better. For our aspects, we're going to be running Touch of Thunder. This is going to give our Pulse Grenade a little bit extra juice. It's going to create ionic traces, and those are going to grant us ability energy. We really do like this because it's just going to help keep generating more thruster and grenade for us while we're also constantly having our melee. So I really do enjoy having this on, as well as knockout. Critically wounding a target, breaking their shield infuses your melee attack. With arc energy, increases your melee range and damage for a short time. Defeating a target with a melee attack starts health regen and makes you amplified. I like this a lot, again, purely for the fact that I can just get a soft melee off real fast and just instantly have health for it. Again, increasing our melee range. We're kind of getting that like intrinsic Synthoceps in a way with that. So this is just really solid. A couple things to have here. I just don't recommend Juggernaut because you're not really going to be getting any benefit out of it. This is much better for PvP. For our fragments, we're going to be running Spark of Ions. Feeding Jolt the target creates ionic traces. Again, getting us just a little bit more juice. Spark of Resistance. While surrounded by combatants, you are resistant to incoming damage, allowing us to essentially just like get into the thick of it, have some damage resistance, and have enough time to be able to get off those melee kills for health regen. Spark of Beacons. While you are amplified, your arc special weapon final blows create a blinding explosion. We are going to be using the Cold Heart for this build. It does a lot of damage, and this is nice, especially against mobs that are in like big groups, just for the fact that it'll blind them real quick, so that I'm able to run in, get a quick melee off, and just rinse and repeat. And then finally, Spark of Focus. After spraying for a short time, your class ability regeneration is increased, essentially just allowing us to constantly run around, just like get that class ability energy. Again, we are specifically using it for regeneration on other abilities, so this is very nice to have. Now for the weapons, I always have like one that I'm like absolutely have this no matter what. The other ones are always going to be optional. For a top slot, I have a one small step with 1-2 punch. This can be great for our punching build, obviously, but the coup de grace weapon of this setup is going to be the Cold Heart. This was actually a pre-order bonus when Destiny 2 first came out. It is a really solid arc trace rifle. Its first trait is Longest Winter, periodically generates ionic traces while it's in a high damage state, and its intrinsic trait is this weapon shoots a steady cold fusion powered arc laser, dealing more damage the longer it remains on target. This is really great for just juicing yellow bars, especially being able to just like whittle them down to a little bit of nothing. And then obviously the ability to create the ionic traces is really nice just for more ability energy for us. I've just been hot for trace rifles recently. I think they're just really solid right now. I think people sleep on them a little bit, and just like the double special meta is pretty fun to use. And then finally for our heavy slot, I have a Wendigo. This is actually currently in the rotation for people to get the regular version. Mine's obviously Adept. really solid all around with explosive light and field prep and spike nades and quick launch. It is pretty and I love it a lot. Now for all the stuff you're going to be needing for your armor, obviously for a helmet, we are using the Insurmountable Skull Fort. This is our creme de la creme exotic armor piece. Transfusion Matrix kills with arc melee abilities trigger health regen and restore melee energy. Essentially just kind of like extra juicing the aspect we have, but also the fact that we're going to be constantly getting our melee back whenever we get a kill with a powered melee. This is so nice just because you're able to just like constantly tap that thunderclap and just take out entire waves of mobs. I will say, just from like little tip for dealing with it, a lot of times if you spam it too fast, it will just like take the charge away from you. So make sure you're giving yourself like a quick second to like maybe like move real fast before you tap it again. But in general, really solid all around. I love this exotic. It is a lot of fun. For the mods, I'm going to be running hands-on. This is going to help us get our thunder crash back really fast. We're constantly meleeing. I think I get about 2 to 3 thunder crashes per just like lost sector. So that should just tell you how easy it is to get your super back. Arc Siphon, so that whenever we're getting the kills with our Cold Heart, we're able to get some orbs of power. And then Ashes to Assets, we're gonna be chucking a lot of grenades, essentially just helping hands-on here constantly get us back that super. For our arms, I'm going to be running heavy-handed so that I'm getting orbs of power on my melee final blows. This is really nice because every single enemy that you hit with the thunderclap and kill them with will get you an orb of power. So you're going to have high stacks pretty dang fast. Focusing Strike grants class ability energy when damaging with a melee attack. Really like this, just constantly have that thrust. Again, I really like that thrust because it helps something out that we're going to be using later down in the tree. And then Impact Induction, causing damage with melee attack, reduces your grenade cooldown. Essentially using your melee to help these other two abilities so that they can create essentially energy for your melee in case you have run out of it. Really solid kind of combo there. For our chest piece, we're going to be running charged up, so I'm getting some extra stacks. And then I just run concussive dampener and melee resistance on there. This is something though that you can maybe change out for like some extra ammo if you want. You could take off that charged up honestly for another concussive dampener. Essentially up to you on that. This is just my preferred preference. On our legs, I'm going to be running double arc surge. I really like this just because it helps juice up our Cold Heart by 17%. Just really enjoy using that. And then Absolution reduces all ability cooldowns each time you pick up an orb of power. Again, I really want to use all my abilities as much as possible, even though this is a punching focused build, just because they all synergize with each other really well. I will say though, you probably could change out these surges if you really wanted to just focus on the punching, maybe get a recuperation for some extra health, and maybe just add another Absolution in there or a stacks on stacks. But you're getting plenty of orbs pretty constantly to not really need the stacks on stacks, and it's just really nice just to have that extra juice on our arc weapon, especially Wendigo. I mean, if you got that 17% with explosive light on top of it, it is just absolutely insane. And then finally on our Titan class mark, we are running 2 distributions. Again, this is where I was saying, hey, use your class ability around enemies and stuff. Reduces all ability cooldowns when using your class ability near targets. Got 2 of those. And then an outreach melee cooldown when using our class ability. Again, I like using thruster because it's really fast. It gives you some mobility, and again, being able to use all these different perks is going to give you a much better cooldown. There really is not anything in the artifact that will really help you out with this build. If I had to say anything that's just like, hey, maybe put this on because it's going to be a little bit solid for you, maybe the grenade mods, the shatter orbs, bricks from beyond, and prismatic transfer. Other than that, there's really no point in a lot of these, just because a lot of them are focused into void, solar, and strand. Thank you so much for stopping by this video, guys. Make sure you are checking out my Discord, because I have the dim link for this setup in there. If you wonder why I don't really put it in the comments down below, it's because obviously if you have watching this far, you've taken the effort to watch this video, and I really appreciate it. And I don't want somebody just coming in, grabbing a link off of a video and putting no time into it, and then not appreciating what we did here. So I always like to just mention it. Where it's going to be, again, it's over in my Discord in the dim link section. But thank you so much for stopping by this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you comment down below. Let me know what are some setups that you want me to try out. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, become a member, all that fun stuff. And follow me over on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at Birdman778. Thank you so much, y'all. Hope you have a great night, day, whatever it may be.